This is Michael Jackson, the king of pop. The dead live on the Sullivan Project Podcast, 'cause it's Thriller. Hee hee, Thriller night.
Next,
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Sullivan Project Podcast. I'm your host, Harold Sullivan. We're going to a special episode here. We're going to talk about, I've met over 100 celebrities. I'm just going to estimate 100. We might have even had 100 on the podcast over the last 4 seasons or so. But we're going to get into that. I want to talk a little bit about the Roku remote. First, let's do a little bit of this. If you want to reach the show, you can get us on YouTube and TikTok under Harold Sullivan 78. And if you want to get us on Facebook, it's Harold Sullivan period 35. And then you can email hs19782015 at outlook.com. You could call 724-513-1472 and leave a voicemail. I might answer. And if you want to be a guest, audio, we're doing audio right now, or you can just leave something, I'll get out for you. And we appreciate if you hit the share button, like, comment, some stuff, and then do friend requests on Facebook, follow on TikTok, and subscribe on YouTube. And then, so that's that. So yeah, let me talk about the Roku remote here. I mentioned it in the last podcast, I believe. I didn't mention the one big difference, okay? This is the third remote I've gotten. In case y'all haven't tuned in before, I lost my sight about 4.5 years ago. And I was born with an autoimmune disease. I haven't been able to walk since I was a child. I've been in a power wheelchair. I only weigh about 70 pounds. And I'm like 4 feet tall. And I can't really move my arms and legs much. I was in a body cast when I was young. My hip popped out. I had neck surgery, had to wear a halo. I just been through stuff. But everyone has a story, and you can't judge a book by its cover. That's what this podcast is about. Don't judge people. Give them a hug. Love them. We all been through stuff, you know. So come on here and talk about stuff. And listen, this is a place where anybody can come and talk or just listen to stuff without crap and judgment or dirtiness or vulgarity. Just fun. Get away. Talk about paranormal, physical, or paranormal, supernatural, metaphysical, spiritual, and then movies, entertainment, arts, sports, whatever you want, anything, music especially. We got some new songs up there on the channels. So yeah, the remote, this is my third remote. The TV came with one. I got a 30-something inch TV a couple of years ago. Roku TV, standard remote. All right, you can buy a voice remote for $20 that has a button that you push and then you talk to it, kind of like the cable remote, cable box for Xfinity and stuff. So, yeah, well, it'll do a couple more things than that. Anyway, my remote quit working. That was the only button that quit working recently. So I had to buy another one. So I bought the third, more the most advanced one they have. This one, you don't have to put batteries in. You can charge it. You can also plug in earbuds so you can listen to it from the remote. And you can also just talk. You just have to say hey and then the R word. You don't have to push the button down. So that makes it cool. It's $30. It's only $10 more than the $20 one, the $20 one. So I figured I'd get that one. It works good, except for it's silly because it should be completely hands-free. All right, it will not scroll left and right, up and down by just voice commands. It will press play, pause, turn the power off and on the TV just by telling them, and you just have to have the remote near you. That's all. So you just have to say the hey and then the R word for the TV, and then you can do these different things. I think you can turn your volume up and down, but it won't. I don't think it'll rewind or fast forward. I haven't tried that yet with the voice, but it won't scroll. So I mean, you still got to push the arrows, and it's not completely hands-free. It's almost there though, but that'd be nice because then you could just say, hey, scroll up or down. Then you don't have to even be near the TV or the remote. But that's fine. It is what it is. And then I just did a review of Smallville 6. My right hip is bothering me. It's always in pain. And then we got the cold weather. It's snowing out now, rainy mixed. My God. We are connected to the planet, so don't say that stuff that people feel the weather and that's not right. It is. It's for real. For some reason, certain people can feel the weather, and it hurts their bodies usually. Like this achy cold stuff in the rain. I don't know. The weather don't usually make the body feel better. At least not for me, anyways. I found that cold and cool is better for anxiety. Heat and stuff like that is better for pain and arthritis. I don't know, but it's hard to be right in the middle. That's why I always was like, I need to live in the middle of the earth, like where the equator is, right where they have them rainforests or whatever, where they got them parrots just flying around, and it would be just the right temperature all year, right between like in the 70s, not too sunny to where I'm burning up, because I burn very easily. I mean, the first sunlight I'm burned. I don't even have to be out. I can get burned through a window. That's how my skin is. It's so just thin, I guess. But yeah, Smallville. I did a review of that, and I didn't mention the rating at the end. So because I had a lot going on before the episode with my family and that, people with mental illness. It's very hard. I have probably do too, undiagnosed. Okay, I was told I had anxiety years ago by the PCP, but I believe a lot of stuff is just caused by people picking up other people's. So you may have anxiety, but it's not yours. It's other people around you constantly, that energy, and you feel it. So you're anxious. So I don't believe that. So I'm just extra sensitive, being empathic. That's all. It doesn't have to have a name. That's what they tell you something's wrong with you, give you a medicine, and they get money. That's how the planet works. We live in a prison planet, I like to call it. So here on the podcast, this is a voice to the voiceless. You can tell anything you want to get out. And try to find them people that you might have done wrong to or thought you did wrong to them and make it better now. Because we live or die in a blink of an eye. So yeah, Smallville 6, I'd probably give it a 7. Still pretty high up there after 6 seasons. Uh, the first couple, I think I gave it 8, then down a little, up a little higher. But it's right up there, 7, 7.5 out of 10 stars, I'd give it. And then we mentioned the remote. Also, Brainiac, they just said Brainiac is going to be the next villain in the Superman movie, The Man of Tomorrow. They're really just going crazy with all this. I didn't really like the new Superman. I did a review of that recently. I'm a fan of the Christopher Reeve movies, of course. Sure. God bless his soul. But I did like Brandon Routh a little bit. I didn't mind Man of Steel, certain things. This new one, though, there's just too much. And like I said, I did an episode on that, or a segment on that. Maybe I'd like the next one better. I don't know. Uh, and then, yeah, let's get into these celebrities here. I met over 100. Starting when I was a child. I went to, I was part of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, so I'm 47 almost now. I wasn't supposed to make it. Like a lot of people, like I said, how do you get from A to B? And how do you make it? You know what I mean? That's what I'm fascinated by. That's the story. And that's what just gets us by and makes the planet go. And time go by, which isn't a real thing. But you get to where you get spots and you just don't think you can make it, or you don't have a clue how you're going to. And then years later, you probably don't even remember it, but then you look back and you're like, wow, look at all this. And I don't believe in coincidence, accidents, or mistakes. So there's some reason all this is going on. We're not just here. So yeah, I was with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, got to go to baseball games and all that, which was great. I love the hot dogs. I don't know what it is, but the hot dogs at the baseball game were the best things, the best hot dogs ever. Still haven't got any that taste like that. Don't know what brand or if it was how they did it, but they were great. That's my favorite thing. I couldn't see the baseball. We had, the seats were okay, but I just wanted the food. We had a booth. We could get free food. So I met some baseball players there. I actually went to a convention and I met some of the Steelers football winning Super Bowl team from the late 80s or late 70s, and including Terry Bradshaw, Franco Harris, Lynn Swan. And then let's see, I met some celebrities, local celebrities as far as newscasters. David Finnegan, David Johnson, Peggy Finnegan, John Fedco, Oh, wow. Someone's going to sweep while we're doing the podcast. Hopefully I can talk louder and y'all can still hear me. You never know what's going on. So there are people well, people here kind of don't really, they'll just run around and yell and scream and play loud music. They aren't considerate of other people on the world or in the house or on the planet. I am. So, but I'm in here doing my thing. They can do that. And I will talk to you all still. Uh, so yeah, I met those guys and the local weatherman at the time, Chris Benson, was taking over. So the older guy wasn't there that day. And then later on, I started getting to go to conventions with Randy. He's been on the podcast before. Years and years later, there might be some other ones I'll think of that I met in between. But anyway, at conventions now, in person, I met Betsy Palmer, Jason's mom from Friday the 13th, Tom Savini, the makeup guy, Fat Mama, who was a superhero on a TV show, Danielle Harris, who played the little girl in the Halloween movies, and Rob Zombie's Halloween. She was in that. I met Kane Hodder, who played Jason in 7, 8, 9, and 10. I met, let's see, K&B Nicotero from K&B Effects, who did Walking Dead, but he did Evil Dead a long time ago. I met the dude who played Pinhead in Hellraiser, Doug Bradley. I also met Tom Sullivan, who did effects on the Evil Dead. I met John Saxon, who played Nancy's mom in A Nightmare on Elm Street. Or Nancy's dad, sorry. He passed away recently, the last few years. My God. These are just at conventions. I'm trying to think of who else. There was a couple of people I didn't really know who they were at the time and didn't even go to the table, including the guy who was Darth Vader in the suit, David Prowse, Jason Silent Bob, Jason Mewes, who plays, I didn't know who he was. He had short hair, Jason Mewes. And then the famous director, John Landis. He was just sitting there by himself. And I didn't know, none of the three. This was 20, 30 years ago. This was a long time ago. So I could have met them, but I didn't go to the tables. Because back then at the conventions, you could talk to people, you could go. Sometimes they didn't have a lot of people. I met the dude from The Hills Have Eyes. There was a bald-headed mutant. One guy had some fingers missing. I can't remember his name. I thought of him. I met this girl named Gwen who was doing her own independent kind of things. She had a movie in a zombie's house that she was trying to do. Check that out if you ever can find it on YouTube. And what else here? If I remember some of them, I'll come back. And then also 2 conventions the last couple of years, I've met John Carpenter from Halloween, the director of the music. I wrote it and all that, of course, the great John Carpenter. I met Harvey Winkler from Happy Days. I have met Kevin Spacey from Superman Returns and a bunch of other movies. I've met from Gina Davis wouldn't talk to me because I wouldn't buy anything. I just wanted to talk to her. But so I wouldn't pay for an autograph. She wouldn't, or a picture. Susan Sarandon, I met her. I met from American Pie. I met Shannon Elizabeth, and I met, I can't remember how I met Mina Savita, the girl who played Heather. She sang with me. Go check that out because I took a video or a recorder back with me, or audio recorder, and she let me ask her a couple of things. So I met her. I also met, oh wow, just a lot of people. I met Ernie Hudson from Ghostbusters. And then let's get to some cameos, some people who've been on the actual podcast that you can check out some videos of. Ernie Hudson, I've got a video from him before I even met him, and then got to meet him in person to talk to him a little bit. And he let me record him for a couple minutes on audio. So I put that on there. So let's see. So Ernie Hudson, we go from him from Ghostbusters. I have an actual ghost hunter who, what was his name there? Adam from Ghost Hunters, if you want to do that. We got several Friday the 13th, the director from the original one, Sean Cunningham. And then we have Robbie Morgan, I think, from Friday the 13th. And then we also have the first Jason ever, Ari Lehman, I met all of them on the Cameo. They all have sent in videos and answered questions. And then from Friday the 13th, Part 7, God Rest Her Soul, Laura Park Lincoln has passed away, and me and her were in communication back and forth and texting. And she passed away here recently. And then Kane Hodder, I got a video from him on Cameo up there for y'all, who I mentioned I met in person, as well as Danielle Harris. And then from Malcolm McDowell, who played in hundreds of movies and was Dr. Loomis and Rob Zombie's Halloween. He's up there on Cameo on the YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. Harold Sullivan 78 on YouTube and TikTok. Harold Sullivan period 35 Facebook. Also Christina Klebe. And then I got she was in Rob Zombie's Halloween, and so was Danielle Harris. And then from Elm Street, we have the girl that played Alice, Lisa Wilcox. And then from Part 4, Kirsten, Tuesday Night, we have up there. And then from the first one, the dude that played Rod Lane, there's a video of an interview with him. So, and then I have some musicians up there. I'm not sure if they're all going to be posted by now. Well, let's talk about the ones that are been posted. We had Montel Jordan. He's up there. And we have a couple people from American Idol, Louis Knight, and also Alyssa Ragu, I believe was her name. It's a lot to remember all these. Some wrestlers. How about Mankind, Mick Foley. And then we also have, what's his name? Kurt Angle. These are all on the Sullivan Project podcast. So, like I said, I've met somebody, talked to somebody, they got different stories. But the few questions I ask them, okay, a lot of them, there's three main questions, and then sometimes I'll ask them other questions if I want to pay extra. If I only got so much for one person, I'm going to ask them extra, to pay extra because I can only get them once or whatever, and I want to get more. So, but the main questions are for the podcast. Do they believe in the supernatural, paranormal? That's one question. The second question is, have they ever been close to death or saved by something? And then the third one is, do they have any advice for someone that's having a small moment of weakness? So I ask those, and then I might ask other questions like about their career or music or whatever. If I have the extra money, because I have to pay for all these, but I'm doing this I want to bring people for the show. Because if I can help people in any way, at the podcast, with anything they hear, then, oh man, I'm doing my part, right? We can all do something. And I'm here for something. The light's still on. I might be blind, but the light's still on until God or Spirit or whoever it is, you got to believe in something, or at least believe in you is what I like to say. But, you know what I mean? Something's going on, and I'm still here. So I'm appreciated. I've known almost 40 people that died, and I've been close to death almost that many times. And that's just adding up. So I'd like to do a book one day. I got some of it typed in and other things. I need help though. I'm one man. I got a couple people helping me a little bit. And I'm blind and disabled. But one man is every man. One man's every man, and we can all make a difference. We can all do something. And we all need help. It ain't just, none of us just do everything. We all have a little bit of help at least. And we all need somebody. And you're not weak. Your pain is your strength, not your weakness. So when you have something going on, reach out. Just try to find the right person, because sometimes people will take advantage, or they just don't care, or they're meeting themselves. So how are they going to help you? They're unsympathetic. So that's tough. But call the show. Like I said, I'm here. If you need somebody to cry for a moment, 724-513-1472. I won't judge. I don't care what's happened. What none of that matters. Just tell me what's going on, and we'll talk about it. And I'll listen, and I'll cry with you. And maybe you can help me too. You know what I mean? I'm sure you can. We can all help. We all need. That's why we're all here. We're all connected. A little piece of this, a little piece of that, but it's all together. It really is. That's the truth. So yeah, I met many celebrities, but a lot of them come right out with a story that they've been close to death, and most of them say they believe in the supernatural, or paranormal. They're not quite sure what it is. And then some of them say, "Oh no, I've never been close to death." But then they think for 1 second they realize they were. Like for instance, we just had from Superman from Smallville, Michael Rosenbaum. He said, no, I wasn't close to death. But then he said, I saved someone from getting hit by a bus. I pulled them back. Well, that means you're close to death because you could have got hit by the bus too. Malcolm McDowell said he almost drowned when he was like 4 years old, and his aunt pulled him out of the water. And he said he wasn't even scared when he was drowning. He said it was just, until afterwards he freaked out because he was a little kid. But he said it was almost, I just saw like some kind of flash here right a second ago. And the refrigerator came on at the same time. I've been seeing like blue light, like different colors and orbs and just stuff since I lost my sight. After a year or so, a couple of months after that, I started seeing stuff. But yeah, they all have stories too. One fell. I think it was the one from American Pie, Heather. The girl said she fell off like a 40-foot cliff and broke all kinds of stuff and still survived. Danielle Harris said she had an accident or almost died giving birth. And so, I mean, there's stories. So, but I love y'all. And love's a choice and so's the hate. Remember that. Fight fire with water. Right? We got doggies barking. Hey, life will find a way. Right? Like an American, or like in Jurassic Park, Malcolm says, Ian Malcolm says, life will find a way. It's the, what you call it, the chaos theory. And stuff you just can't predict sometimes. So, but come back soon. I appreciate y'all. We got more cameos, all kinds of music. Stuff put up for my God babies. I love them, Gabriella and Adeline. And thank you, Danny, again, and his girl, Brittany, for asking me to be, something, to help out with the family. I never had kids, or haven't so far, or been married. But I got 2 God babies I've never been able to see, but I love them very much. When Danny plays video for me or an audio, or I get to hear them on the phone laughing and just talking, they don't talk much yet, but it melts. There's nothing better than that feeling. And if someone don't hear a baby, and there's nothing, or someone don't hear a baby laughing and stuff and don't feel so warm, then I don't know. And there's nothing worse than the baby being in pain and crying to you too. I would be one of them dads that no matter what would not want my kid to be crying, even if they were just crying.
Notification from Outlook, SoundCloud.
Oh yeah.
Weekly download.
Oh okay.
New Irish dance tracks.
I don't even use them anymore. I used to use them a long time ago. SoundCloud. Because you can download free stuff on SoundCloud and use it in your
Menno L.E. Tough, Jazzy, and more.
Okay.
Essential Irish dance track.
But you gotta look to see what kind of
one window.
Copyright there is, because they'll get you. They'll take your stuff down if you put it up. But I just make everything on the podcast. I'm not gonna say everything and accidentally lie, because I don't want to do that anymore. But 99% of the stuff is all made original. Okay, all the music, all the songs, even sound effects that are in my stuff, voices. This is all made. So I don't want them to ever take me down and say I'm using a cover or a copy or something from anything. This is all made by the Sullivan Project Podcast, and it's the people helping out. Everything on here. Pictures, videos, everything. So this is all original. Everything here. And I'm just one man, and like I said, I got a couple people helping a little bit here and there. And we're doing it. And without y'all, I mean, I got nothing. Because I told God when I lost my sight, I wanted to help people the rest of my life, whatever I could do, if it was anything. And I've had people tell me I can't do nothing, especially since I lost my sight. But guess what? I got this podcast up here, and y'all seem to be enjoying it. And it's something I can do. All right? Use my knowledge and pass it on, try to help other people with what I've been through. And I expect y'all to do the same thing. Help people. Don't shun them away. I love y'all.